because they were working on elephants, not working on them like a mechanic, sitting on top of them, working the elephants. They use elephants like we use trucks. They move logs with elephants. And the elephants down here working, moving logs, and the guys up on top, I don't know what they do, hit them on the side of the head, and they turn left or right. But all of a sudden, the elephant goes and runs. And the guy's going, stop, stop. And later on, he's kissing the elephant. Thank you for not stopping. The elephant could feel it coming. The elephant could feel the tsunami when it was way out in the ocean. And the elephant told itself, elephant, get up on a hill. Gonna get tough. So the elephant took off, and the worker on the elephant was saved because the animals know. Isn't that strange? We think we're so smart. They knew. God said they will know. I just thought of a line. If you build it, they will come. Oh, that's funny now that I think about that. God says, you just build the ark, I'll take care of the animals. So in my mind, one of the things that I always wondered about, how did the animals get on the boat? That's how they got on the boat. The animals came, but the people didn't come. That's really the deal. Now, in the play we went to see, and I'm going to tell you, parents, I urge you, it's getting tougher to go on a long vacation because of the distance, mileage, expense. You can go to Branson, Missouri, and go take your family to go see Noah the musical. Just a thought. And it'll be good because it's good. And I won't give it all away, but I'm just telling you, it's good. But in that play, and I've never thought about this either, 100 years, big, huge boat. In the play, all kinds of people. Apparently, Noah, in the play, was somewhat a little bit wealthy because he had servants, and he had the servants building the boat. And he had people bringing supplies, and he would talk to them and preach to them, and he went into town and tried to preach, and they ran him out of town on a rail, and they didn't want to hear his message. It was so like it could have been today. Some of you in the past 2 weeks have invited somebody to church. You invited them for this day right here. You said, we're having someday Sunday. People that have said, someday I'm going to come. Friend day. You're my friend. I want you to come to church. And we watched this played out in this drama. There was a man who was selling him feed to store on the boat. And Noah was talking to the man, and he said, you realize, because the man was happy, his business was doing very well. Noah was really helping him make money. And Noah told him, he says, you realize that when the day comes, we're going to get on the ark, and only those on the ark will survive, and I'm inviting you to come get on the ark. Now this was, can you see that? That's easy, is it not? And his friend said to him, Noah, I want to get on the ark. I want to get on the ark, but right now, I am so busy, and my business is booming, and Noah, right now, I'm making more money than I've ever made in my career. I don't have time to think about arks. I've got to worry about my business. And I'm sitting here watching this, and I don't think that's not biblical, only it's biblical. It's always. People say, I can't see it. It must not be true. The tsunami. The elephants could feel it. They didn't have to see it. They knew it was true. They ran for the hills. The people stood there on the balconies of their motels videoing themselves dying. That's bright now. That's right up there with rocket science and engineers. That's crazy. People are nuts. And that guy in the drama said no. And all the people slowly began to reject the message of the salvation that was offered in the ark. And pretty soon it was Noah and his sons and their family building the ark. He was a great zookeeper, but he wasn't much of a preacher because the people rejected his message. Then you have the hardest part of all. By the way, that's Matthew 24 again, 39. I think we've already had it up there, but you remember that. It says the people didn't know till the flood came and took them away. That's what made me think of the people over in Singapore, or Indonesia, I don't remember all, Jakarta, all those places, videoing themselves being flooded away, and there was people clinging to buildings, and they're videoing them. And one at a time, you'd see somebody let go, and the water would wash them away. Our missionaries, the Neils, talked about going to a place where there was a tsunami, and they said the water had gone out and come back and gone out and come back, and it had compacted the bodies for about a third of a big bay. It was just packed dead bodies that had been crushed and stomped into this bay. Can you imagine that? Man, I feel bad for people who don't understand, who don't hear, because the message is being told, but they say, I don't see it. I can't see it, so I'm not going to react. Let's look at Genesis chapter 7, verses 1 and verses 4. This to me was the hardest point. This was the hardest part of all. Then the Lord said to Noah, come into the ark, you and all your household, because I have seen that you are righteous before me in this generation. Noah and his family go into the ark, okay? Verse 4, after 7 more days, I will make it rain on the earth. It's going to rain for 40 days and 40 nights, and I'm going to destroy from the face of the earth all living things that I have created. Could you imagine? Now I know it took 100 years to build the ark, and I'm sure Noah was a pretty old guy. It took 100 years. Now you realize in that day before the flood, people lived a lot longer. We had the terrarium effect on the earth because of the clouds. The sun couldn't come through and burn people up. We have so many people having cancer. I think the sun causes cancer. That's just me. I don't know anything about medicine. But before the flood, when the sun couldn't come through the clouds, it would just get light, but not bright light. They lived longer. They lived hundreds of years. And Noah was an old man, and he built the ark. And it took 100 years, and I would think they would work from sun up to sundown, and they would be so tired, they would just go in and lay down and sleep, and they would wake up, and they would say, we've got to work. We've got to build the ark. And time went by fast because they were so busy. But I want you to think about the 7 days. Think about the 7 days that they got on that ark, God shut the door, and they waited. That had to be long. There wasn't much to do. They just sat there and waited. See, that's when faith really kicks in. We can go to church, we can attend church, and we can enjoy church, and we can sing good songs, and we can enjoy it. But time's going by. We're busy with other things. But when it comes down to really, really, really believing, it gets tough right there. Then in the drama, I'm back to the drama in Branson, it got really tough right there. One of the girls, one of Noah's daughter-in-laws, were outside, and they came up, and you could only hear their voices. The people were on the inside. You could see them, and you could hear this couple talking inside to their daughter. And they said, all right,